Greetings everyone, I'm excited and delighted to be bringing back the Minecraft and Fortnite thumbnail tutorial for all of your YouTubers that you want to know how to make thumbnails based off of their style. If you're excited for this revival, make sure you leave a like on the video, subscribe, and don't forget to most importantly turn on post notifications, because that is the only way you will be notified through YouTube whenever I upload a video. So today I'm going to be fulfilling the request of one of my subscribers, Joey Tribbiani, who wanted me to do SPEEDSILVER, and he is a UHC YouTuber from what I can tell. His thumbnails for the most part consist of radial blurs and just UHC items like enchanted items like pickaxes, swords, golden apples, and you know, you could actually do this easily, probably on your first try, because that is how nice looking yet simple and straightforward his style is. So you're going to need a couple of things for this. You're going to need some sort of photo editing software, of course, like Photoshop or Paint.net. You're going to need Minecraft, and you're going to need the Dynamic Duo 128 by 128 texture pack, which will be linked in the description below. The replay mod is optional, and the last thing you're going to need is the custom NPCs mod, and there's lots of tutorials out there for how you can install that. Without further ado, let's get right into the tutorial. So we're gonna get our screenshots first, as always, and Minecraft is probably the only game that I still play minimized, and my sensitivity is a little bit low. And this is where I used to take like a lot of my screenshots for Minecraft tutorials, and luckily there happens to be a ravine in here, a very crucial element in UHC. So if we go down here, I already got the texture pack installed. We go over here and here, you're gonna see that I placed some diamonds. No, they did not spawn by themselves. It's too high. It's too high. We're just gonna put an NPC here, and I think I'm gonna put it right here. We got some sheep in the background. We're going to hide the name. You can change the texture. So what I'm gonna do is click texture until it goes to player, and you can just type in your IGN, your in-game name, like that, and you should pop up like that. So you can see it has an animation, living animation, so we're going to disable that. We're going to go to AI, we're going to go to movement, rotation, and we're going to set that to manual. Now what I like to do after this is press done and go out to see it. I think they usually face north, so now if you do some simple geometry, you can just go back here, and since it's facing that way, we should rotate it clockwise. So I think 45 should be a good number. 45 degrees. Let's see. Yeah, that seems good. Okay, yeah, I'm liking this. Okay, so now we're gonna do some more simple stuff. We're gonna get an anvil, and this is just for extra details. You don't have to really do this. We're gonna get an anvil, and I'm just gonna enchant a diamond pickaxe, and we're just gonna give it, like, you can give it any enchantment because this is just for visual purposes. I'm just gonna give it respiration because that's the first one that I picked, and they're simple. I mean, you can just break it, and now we're just gonna give this to the NPC. So get out your NPC wand, go to the inventory, put that in the inventory. My apologies, I forgot to show you guys how to get your NPC wand after you get the custom NPCs mod. So first of all, if you successfully install the mod, if you go into your inventory, you should get like this 1 out of 2, which means that there is a second window for inventory items. And if you go to 2 out of 2, you should see on the first tab, it says custom NPC tools, and all you gotta do is get the NPC wand from there, and then you're good. Okay, so now the last thing we're gonna do with this NPC, we're gonna go to advanced, and we're gonna go to the second bar here where it says no job, and we're gonna click this arrow 1, 2, 3 times until it says puppet. Wanted to say puppet because we can animate its poses and whatnot. So it's mining diamonds, and the diamonds are kinda lower than its head level. Well, in this case, it's going to be mining the diamond that is closest to the ground. So we're gonna make his head go down by clicking the X, moving the X axis. Now we're going to make his right arm extend forward, right again by using the X feature. Extended, you know, probably leave it at 88%. We could also move the left arm if we want. So move that higher and that'll make it go backwards. 245 is fine. The left leg. So for the legs, I like to do it like opposite of the arm or the side of the body is. So if the arm is extended, then it's going back. So since the left arm is going back, the right leg, the left. So since the left arm is going back, I'm going to make the left leg extend just slightly, not too much, and vice versa for the right leg and right arm. So let's do that, move it back. Lastly, we need to get our diamonds, just 3 diamonds, because he's mining diamonds. So it would make sense if he had a couple of them. I'm trying to not have them stack up like that, but apparently that's not gonna happen. And let's try, boom. Okay, so a little much, but that was just to get the diamonds spread out, and I wasn't sure how else we could do that. Okay, so we're ready to take our screenshot now. Everything has been set into place. So we're gonna hit F1 to disable the HUD or the GUI, whatever you want to call it. By the way, my FOV is set to normal so that we can like get things really close up. And we're just gonna get it into a position that is fit for you. I think this position is good enough for me. So what I'm gonna do is hit F2 to screenshot, and your screenshot should have taken, hit F1, and it should say saved screenshot as blah blah blah. Okay, so now we're gonna go into the magical world of Photoshop, and to save time I already have that open, so we're gonna go to create new. I'm just gonna name this SPEEDSILVER tutorial. The resolution, you can choose 1280 and 720, or you can do full HD, which is 1920 by 1080, but I'm just gonna stick with the slightly lower resolution. HD is HD, so you shouldn't worry too much about that. We're gonna hit create. So right now I am looking for the screenshot that we just took, and it should usually automatically save to your Minecraft file under the file name screenshots, and it should be the latest one, the one closest to the bottom. And here we go. You can just drag and drop it depending on which version of Photoshop you're using, and you can hit enter to fully place it. Now that we have this, I'm just gonna hit Control T, use the Alt and scroll down to zoom out. I'm also gonna hold Alt, and so that it increases the picture or the screenshot from the center. And I think that's good. I think that's fine. Hit enter to place the image. Okay, so the next thing we're going to do is we're going to get our pen tool. You can use the shortcut P. Make sure it is set to path. That way it only gets an outline and it doesn't create a shape. Okay, so after that, we're just gonna pick a starting point right here. Make sure you're slightly inside of the person or thing that you want to select, so that it does not create any halos around it when we select it. So for this tutorial, we are going to be selecting the player, and then we're going to make a separate selection of the diamonds. So I think I'm going to start with the diamonds first. So I'm just going to go here, create my starting point, and just simply outline the diamonds, or whatever the object is that you are outlining. Just take your time. If you haven't already, make sure you leave a like on the video and share this with some friends, just in case they happen to be wondering how to make thumbnails like SPEEDSILVER. I don't know, they could have wanted to. And I think for here, I think I'm going to just select random areas, because it won't really matter, because the outline of the player will be on top of this one. After we connect the entire selection, we're going to right click in anywhere inside of it, and we're going to go to make selection. The feather radius, leave that at 0, hit OK, and now there should be a selection. Now what we're gonna do is hit Control J, and now we should have a selection with the diamonds by itself. Okay, so the next thing we're gonna do is select the player. So make sure the original screenshot is selected. We're gonna scroll up and hold Alt to zoom back in, and we're just gonna select the starting point and just work our way. The great thing about Minecraft is that since everything is literally square, you don't really have to worry about making curves and stuff with the pen tool, which is a whole other tutorial. Okay, we're done, so we're gonna make a selection now. For the radius, set to 0 again, hit OK. And then with this selected, we're gonna hit Control J again. So now we're going to take this selection that we just made and bring it on top of the diamonds, okay? And now what we're gonna do is add the effects to both of these to make them really pop out from everything else. All right, so we're gonna double click the player first. And we're going to go to Drop Shadow. Drop Shadow, you can set the distance to whatever you want, but I'm gonna set it to like 6. I've been adding distance to my drop shadows lately, and I'm gonna reduce the spread. I'll set that to 10. That seems good. Inner glow, I'm gonna select that. SPEEDSILVER doesn't tend to add a lot of inner glow, but I think I'm gonna leave it just like this because I really like my inner glows, and that is okay for you guys to tweak with in your thumbnails as well. Should I add a satin? Yeah, we'll add a satin, but I will reduce the opacity slightly. I think 10%. Actually, I'll set it to 8%. 8% is fine. And now all we got to do to save time is just press Alt, click Effects, and drag it onto any layer that you want to copy the effects to. So in this case, it'll be the diamond. So we're just gonna drag and drop it over. And then just like that, it is just copied and pasted onto the diamond layer. You can also right click the layer, click copy layer style, and then hit paste layer style, but I think that's much faster. Okay, so now we're almost done. All we need to do is add the brightness and the lighting and whatnot. So what we're gonna do, and this is one of the things that I learned during my thumbnail making journeys, we're going to go over here, but it's like a circle that is shaded white and then the rest is black, and it's right next to the mask layer. So this is the adjustment layers. We're gonna click that, and we're gonna go to curves. We're gonna click curves. Now in this case, it doesn't really matter because there's only one layer underneath it, but if you ever want to just isolate the effects to the layer right below any adjustments, just click this icon right here. So now we're gonna take a look at this graph, and you can see that lots of the peaks are in this area. So what we're gonna do is, focusing in this area, we're gonna drag that down a little bit to make everything else darker. I'm gonna reduce the brightness, and I think that's fine. I'm gonna put that away. And now we're gonna make the player and the diamonds much brighter because that's the focus of this thumbnail. So we're gonna start with the diamonds first, and now this is where the little clipping the layer onto the one right beneath it comes into play. So we're gonna go back to the adjustments layers menu, and we're gonna go back to curves. Now we're gonna isolate it to this layer, or lock it to this layer, and now we're going to brighten it. Maybe add some contrast by raising it up here to brighten it, and then creating another point and bringing it down like this. That adds some nice contrast without going into the brightness and contrast. Now we're gonna do that again with our player. So we're gonna select the player, go back to here, curves, clip the layer onto just the player, raise the curve over here to brighten it, and then go down here, bring it down, and look at that nice color that it is added to the player. And now you can just put this away by clicking that little arrow icon and zoom out and take a look at your handiwork. There's one more thing that we got to do, and this is optional. We got to go to filter, go to blur, and go to radial blur. We're just gonna add a little radial blur, and I don't think there's a preview, so we're just gonna have to play around with this. Make sure it's set to spin and not zoom. And I think I'm just gonna start off with 8 because it's not really that in your face. So we're gonna hit OK. All right, so we're gonna have to go lower. And the good thing about having a smart object is that you can always change it later. So if we double click radial blur, let's try reducing it to like 5, maybe 4. Let's try 4. Okay, let me try 2. I think that's good. It's there, but it's not really like in your face. Okay, and I think that's it, guys. This is how you make thumbnails like SPEEDSILVER. And if you made it this far to the end, make sure you pat yourself on the back. I want to thank you so much for watching this Minecraft thumbnail tutorial. If you did enjoy it, please let me know by leaving a like. If this is your first time on the channel, hit the subscribe button and let me know in the comment section down below that you are new and that you subscribed. You can also share this with anyone you know who's wanting to get into the thumbnail game but needs some inspiration from somewhere. And don't forget to also follow me on my social medias, Twitter and Instagram, where I post crazy stuff on the daily or the weekly. The link to those will be in the description below. Have an awesome day, guys. I'll catch you guys later in the next tutorial or video. Peace.